Introduction. Plastics, which are everywhere in daily use, create an environmental problem because we have not been effective in using proper recycling methods. Nanoplastics, originating from both the production of tiny particles and the breakdown of larger plastics, such as microplastics, pose environmental challenges because of their small size, measuring less than 1 micrometer. Understanding how effectively we can prevent drinking water sources from nanoplastic contamination is crucial. In our study, we focus on efficiency in terms of the delivery of safe freshwater with minimum contamination during conventional drinking water treatment and how factors like concentration, surface properties, and interactions with surfactants impact filtration processes. Application. In our lab, we have been working with a setup using quartz sand, similar to what is found in conventional filters, to investigate how well this sand catches tiny particles called nanoplastics. We also added a surfactant, like the stuff in our detergent, to see what happens when it mixes with nanoplastics already caught by sand. Imagine a clear tube, 20 centimeters tall and 4 centimeters wide. We filled it with sand and pumped clean water through it. Then, we added nanoplastics into this system. Now, to keep an eye on these nanoplastics, we used measurements of parameters like zeta potential, size, and turbidity. Basically, we are figuring out how these super small plastics behave when we put them through a sand filter. This is like a behind-the-scenes look at how our filters work and what happens. Determining turbidity is essentially seeing how cloudy the water becomes. It tells us how many of the nanoplastics are hanging around. Think of it as a measure of the concentration of nanoplastics. Now, let us chat about zeta potential. This is like looking at the electric charge of these tiny particles, kind of like figuring out if they have a positive or negative charge. Why does this matter? Well, it gives us the lowdown on how these particles hang out with the surfaces of sand grains, such as whether they attach or not. Then, there's the size factor. Knowing the size of these particles tells us about how they group and how stable they are when they are just floating around in the water. It is like understanding if they are sticking closely to each other, or if they prefer to keep their distance. Now, to take a closer look at the sizes and shapes of nanoplastic particles, we used electron microscopy. This is like using a super powerful microscope to see the particles up close and personal. This way, we can understand if they are grouping together in similar ways, or if they are attached to sand grains. Results. We performed sand filtration experiments under 4 different conditions. These nanoplastics have different surface properties. When these charges match with the sand in water filters, the nanoplastics move through more easily. However, when these charges are the opposite, the filters hold on to them better. For example, we found that approximately 40% of negatively charged sulfate nanoplastics were retained in the sand filter. Now, if you are curious about the other conditions, all the details are in our publication. Conclusion. The sand filters provide efficiency for more delicate treatment processes. Beyond their inherent effectiveness, they comprise a cost-friendly process. For future studies, it is foreseen that experiments with natural conditions like lake water, nanoplastics that occur naturally, and the concentrations found in nature will be conducted. Do you want to show your research progress to more scholars? Contribute an entry that will be linked to your paper on the encyclopedia platform, providing an opportunity for over 35,000 scholars to access and explore your research. Have you ever tried to show your latest research in a vivid way? Encyclopedia SciPlayer provides a service with which you can transfer your research to a live video format. Do you want to publish a new paper? Encyclopedia has an international, peer-reviewed, and open-access journal. Do you require a discount when you publish research in journals? Anyone who contributes to Encyclopedia can obtain vouchers for MDPI Journal's article processing charges. Encyclopedia aims to create an open-access knowledge-sharing platform for all scholars. To find more information, search for encyclopedia.pub.